Welcome to Junkyard Mini's YouTube channel.
Why are you pretending this is intro?
This is the intro.
We've been recording for 5 minutes.
No, Andy, we've been over this. Please stop.
What do you mean? This comes out as a videotape and we mail it to YouTube.
No, that's not how it works.
That's how it works.
Right, okay, so that brings us on to the first topic. So we've been talking about recording YouTube videos for a while, specifically me and you, because I think you're one of the funniest guys I know.
I am the funniest person in the world to one person, and that's me.
To you. You love 100% of your own jokes.
I found a script underneath my bed. It had no... I was cleaning up the other day. It had no title on it, no name. It was just on A4 piece of paper, handwritten. And which makes the story even weirder to say out loud now. And I read it, and it was the funniest thing I've ever read in my life.
I want you to bring that here
and
so we can read it.
I read it, I was in tears, and I was like, this is fucking genius. Who wrote this? And it was my year 11 drama coursework. And I was like, do you know why this is so funny? Because I'm the target audience.
Can we genuinely do a table read of that?
How
many characters?
I could probably find it 4, I think.
So
yeah,
it's me, you, Gaz, and Seb.
Yeah, I'm going to be in tears. You lot are going to be, what the fuck is this?
This is going to be great. Okay, right.
As a 16-year-old who's probably on opium at the time.
Okay. On opium at the time?
I was smashing the tramadol back then.
You're smashing the tramadol.
NHS funded junkie for life,
Is that because of your early onset arthritis in life?
So anyway, we were recording a video.
Okay. You're not talking about your personal problems anymore.
No, we're okay. We can
right. So yeah, we've been talking about recording stuff for a while, and we thought
you have, yeah.
The best way to just get good at it is to just hit the record button and edit it. So we're gonna play some Golf It.
Okay.
Which you like, you suggested.
Golf is good. Golf is good. Good pickup game.
How do I set up a game? Local hot seat, right? 2 players.
Yep.
That is so easy. Do I want to put a password in?
Nope.
Wait, ultimate security.
Nope.
I just clicked through everything there. I don't even know what map we're on. I need to be ready to start the match. Okay. So is this player 2?
It is.
I'll be player 2 then. Okay. Well.
Oh, that was underwhelming.
Okay, dokie. Interesting.
I don't know
so you're player 2.
But I don't know if collision's on. If it is,
if collision's on, you're going to yeet me into the hole, right?
This bitch is empty.
Oh, mate, thank you.
No collisions, boy.
Oh, is that? I thought you hit me.
I thought collisions must be off. There was something you said earlier that I did have a nice segue for, but it's totally gone now.
What?
It was about posting videos in the post to YouTube.
That wasn't even something I said. That was something you said.
Yeah, you said something in response to that.
Hang on, is this player 1 or player 2? Because it says player 2.
Player 1.
Right, okay. So that's me, right?
This is you. You are number 1, like China.
China number 1. What happened to PUBG? Why is
it's
it not
still a thing?
anymore?
And what I've heard is it's really well made now. Like the optimization is really
super balanced, but I'm still terrible at first person
it's
shooters.
rock solid. So I never bothered. I heard first person mode was the way.
Oh yeah, 100%. You got some absolute screaming teenager with 40 buttons on his mouse peeking over a wall that doesn't exist.
But they locked server changes, didn't they? So you can't go on the AS servers and try and
absolutely. Yeah, that was like one of the early things they did actually, which I loved. Because it was just like Chinese bot farmers, and you'd just be able to get like 40 kills a game.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. The only 2 chicken dinners I ever had was with you.
That's true, yeah. I remember the first chicken dinner we ever had together.
Fucking cheesed it.
we just hid in the house like someone's going to come in, and
we killed people and moved around, and then when the circle got small enough, we got in the house.
For maybe the last 5 or 10 minutes, we just camped in a house.
Yeah, because we kind of predicted really well where the circle would end.
You say predicted, I say guesstimated.
Guesstimate is the word.
How are you so good at this? This is why you wanted to play this game. I can't even get the tempo of the hitting it right. Look at that. Well, now I'm stuck down there forever.
Oh, they can go around.
Yeet. That's not how physics works at all.
You were saying about Rick Astley earlier.
Yeah.
And how
he's no stranger to love.
He made loads of money from Rickrolling. He famously did an interview where he said he made no money from Rickrolling.
I don't know if I read or watched an interview with him where he was like because the way the YouTube algorithm thing. Oh, that was not great. The way the YouTube algorithm works is it knows the audio, which is why when you watch a lot of like gaming videos, people that it's you because you're furthest away from the hole. People that watch a lot of gaming videos will know this. They have the music muted because usually the music is under a different creative license than the actual gameplay. You can get away with the gameplay and commenting on it because that's fair use.
Yeah.
But you can't get away with using somebody's music. Like, for instance, the StarCraft 2 menu music. I think one of the songs is Sweet Home Alabama. Like, you're never going to get away with using that,
Okay.
Because Jim Raynor is like a space cowboy, so he listens to like all redneck music and stuff. I don't know if I've just offended people by referring to it as redneck music.
You may have,
okay.
But luckily...
I meant country and western.
Yeah, in the UK we don't really have country music, which is pretty good. If we do, it's all western imports.
We do have country music. It's like folk music from Cornwall.
Yeah, but if you call it
Morris
country...
dancers.
If you call it country music... Alright, when you think of like...
We're derailing this topic
When you
already.
think of...
Are you player 2?
When you think of Cornwall and country music and Morris dancers and stuff...
Whenever someone says the word Cornwall, I just think of custard. I don't know why.
That is one thing. Like, Morris dancers is one aspect of the Southwest living. They also have druids, which are the complete opposite. Like Black and Daunting.
Black and Daunting? Druids?
Like black robes and all daunting kind of things with the big
like
hoods
the
and stuff
polar
like that.
opposite KKK, and they just really like people. Are they like all-inclusive?
All-inclusive.
I've never seen
Greece.
like whatever the name of the Celtic religion, like druidic, is on like a government form yet. How far away from that kind of equality are we?
Druids have got to be a recognised thing. I don't know if still probably it's. I'm going to show massive ignorance here. Pagan and druid maybe similar.
Yeah, but pagan is just a name you give to anything that's non-Christian, right? Typically.
Oh really? Okay, I didn't know that.
I'm not doing incredibly well on this whole. At least you've lined up.
You sound like every one of my girlfriends.
At least you've lined up.
Oh no, you're doing incredibly weak on this whole.
Jesus! I've just offended the Christians as well. What we talk about, Rick Rolling is how we got onto that religious conversation. Anyways, so Sweet Home Alabama is the music.
Swish.
I didn't even mean to do that. Sweet Home Alabama is the music that's in StarCraft 2, like one of the songs. But you'd never get away with using that or attempting to monetize that on your own video. So a lot of people turn the music off. So that logic was I feel like either, I can't remember if it was Rick Astley reporting on it directly, but he was saying that the YouTube algorithm, sausages. I hate my life. Yeah, I can't remember if it was him directly, but people were saying that because the YouTube algorithm knows that song, it attributes it to the channel that
Rick Rolling must have been a big thing
prior to monetization.
Yeah, and maybe
but I still think it's a big thing now. I think I've been
monetization, but definitely early days of YouTube. I was watching that in like 2007 when I first discovered what YouTube was.
Remember when YouTube wasn't really YouTube and it was just like cat videos? What I think happened there was I used the maximum amount of strikes.
Okay, so legitimate conversation starter right now. If you do want to use an actual topic, for a conversation, this video is for YouTube. What was the first video on YouTube you ever watched, or what was the first person you ever followed or subscribed on YouTube? Just to show the difference between what it was, because what I use YouTube for now and what I used it for when it first came out is completely different, and I don't understand when that transition happened. I can't pinpoint. Wait, no, I think I can actually.
I think the first person I ever followed on YouTube was, I think the guy's called Chris Perillo, does IT videos. You just follow the one that like an absolute.
Chris Perillo, that guy makes it. He had
loads of Mac videos at the time.
Yeah, he had Mac videos, but he had like a cave he was in, the Gnome.
The Gnome.
He called himself the Gnome, didn't he, or something?
I don't.
Like
that might even be before my time.
I know the guy you're on about. Chris Perillo rings a bell.
But I remember the type of videos you'd watch on there would either be, it would be like reposted music videos.
Yeah, I remember you doing the thing.
Like before, like we're talking back before YouTube was owned by Google, right? And now,
probably.
Now it's like the second largest search engine on the planet.
Second to only Google, I guess.
Yes.
Pornhub's got to be up there as well, surely, as a search engine.
Yeah, but it's very.
But you wouldn't search it first.
It's very niche, isn't it? Like you're not going to find like
Reviews
how to fix my computer unless you go deep into the comments.
No,
I hate you so much. How are you so good at this?
The first video I ever watched on YouTube was. Oh man!
I just dabbed in case. We have got no face cam on, but yeah, I dabbed real hard then.
The first video I think I ever watched on YouTube, like watched out of personal choice, not something my friends had shown me, was a guy who used to be pretty big on YouTube. I think formerly one of their most top subscribed was a guy called The Wine Cone. Was like a Canadian vlogger before vloggers were a thing. He just talked to the camera about weird shit.
Okay.
And it was a video about, it was literally him in his kitchen, I think he used to record the videos, talking to the camera about how hot it was and how all the ways he cooled himself down. Right. So he's like, buy an open fridge, buy a fan that was just circulating warm air at the time. He was topless at one point, and I think it's literally called "It's So Hot" / my worst video ever, and it won the first ever, maybe not the first ever, but won like best video of the year at like a YouTube award thing. And
now this, like, the bar is so high now.
He was the most subscribed YouTube person at the time. I want to say he had 1.3 million subscribers or something, and that was a big thing. And PewDiePie has recently, last week, done 100 million.
100 million? Isn't that like an American billion?
In money terms, it's a billion. No, you get 100 million.
Yeah, but that's
1,000 billion.
There's a different billion for Americans and the UK, right?
Like pints.
Like pints, yeah, different pints, metric or imperial pint. I think they're both imperial pints, but they're different. How much is an American pint?
A British pint is 568 mils.
That is incredibly specific. You know that for a fact, right?
Yeah, 568.
Wow. Why 500? I mean, we're going to get into a whole imperial thing now. Like, it still blows my mind.
We're going to go back to YouTube in a second, but what's a half pint?
234.
368. That makes even less sense.
I know, right? Like, the unit of measurement that we use in our day-to-day life is based on the measurement of a barley corn. Like, the most...
What's that? Is that an inch?
I think 3 barley corns is an inch.
Okay.
So the most ununiversal thing in the world that we could have thought as primitive man to make... That's okay.
I'll put your head.
I'll just take that.
I kept you on the ridge.
Hit again. That's better than I would have done. Yeah, the most primitive man looked at barley corns and thought, you know what? A certain amount of those barley corns is about the same length as my foot.
I thought a foot was actually a foot. Isn't it like one of the king's feet?
I think it was who was the Holy Roman Emperor at the time?
The French
dude.
Guy. Yeah,
it was the French dude. God, it's bothering me that I can't remember it.
A Louis, probably?
No, it's not a Louis. It was way before that, and I think it was like the beginning of the.
You're the history man.
I'll leave you to that. Dudes.
Oh,
mate, off the woodwork. We should play some FIFA because I love football.
Come on, you football!
It's my best chant.
I hope our team gets the required amount of points to succeed.
Oh, I'm so angry.
So,
right now.
what was the first video? First
person I remember.
First YouTuber before that was a term that you subscribed to, or what was the theme of your first few subscriptions? If you can't be that thing, like what did you use YouTube for primarily?
I just looked up IT stuff.
Yep, that's exactly what I used to use it for.
Looked up IT stuff and how to make like the computer that I had better.
So the first video I watched was that one about the wine cone, who I think is still semi-active. He does like a video a year, I want to say, just to kind of keep it ticking over.
Right. Okay.
Hanging on to some sort of YouTube fame or YouTube kind of.
I guess he's like people are still like looking at it because there'll be blogs and stuff out there that are like, oh, you know, the first big YouTubers, where are they now? And he's like releasing one video a year.
That's a good point, actually.
Because that's like a thing now, like it's part of pop culture now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you think about it, yeah, we're what, a similar age, and YouTube came out when I was in year 6. So year 6 to year 7 is a big transition year. It's when you start wanting to learn more about the world.
It's meant. Oh, I hate you so much, man. I hate you so much. And I can...
An albatross! I don't even know what that is!
It's a type of seabird.
But I got one. Do you reckon seagulls look in the mirror and go, can't it be an albatross?
I did exactly the same as you. Oh, I hate my life so much. Oh, my Jesus.
So, the first video I ever watched was that. The first
it's the sound of me
channel I want to say I subscribed to, apart from the wine cone, because I'll give that as a similar answer, was a woman who used to do art vlogs. I want to say her name was literally... it was really on the nose. It was something like Amy Art Vlogs.
Oh, right, okay.
And I want to say her gimmick... I might be confusing two at this point. Her gimmick, or one of the videos I remember at least, was her upside down filming it the right way up. So she would drop stuff and it would fly up.
Right, okay.
And that was... she'd talk about the art pieces she made and stuff like that. I don't know anything about art. I don't particularly follow art. But it was just something really interesting about it. But I think that's because I never had something before that was made in someone's kitchen where she just talked about her life. Because TV before that is American Disney Channel that you grew up with.
Oh, 100%.
And Disney, Nickelodeon,
did you ever
Cartoon Network and stuff.
see? Did you ever like when did you see it coming? I don't think I ever recognised this trend until it had happened. Like when online media overtook terrestrial TV. Because that's very much a transition that we're living in at the moment.
When I bought my first tablet, 2012.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like that soon for you? I probably only saw it like the last few years.
Oh, no, I never saw it. That's when it probably happened to me. I reckon since then, especially since I left sixth form, so 2013, and I got like a job, I didn't have enough time to watch TV. And in my head, I'd rather watch 5 10-minute YouTube videos than one 50-minute TV show. Because I think it's just the thing in your head that's like, I'm watching 5 things, I'm doing more.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And I think once my brain got accustomed to that and I had a tablet to readily access it, then
do you feel like people are like, generally speaking, like they're consuming more, right? Because the beautiful thing about online content is you can watch it. I'm glad you're having a bad one, to be honest. You can watch it anywhere, right? That's the whole sausages. That's the whole thing. Like you can I know you hate the word content, but you can consume media wherever you are.
I hate consume media probably worse than content.
Really?
To be fair. Yeah.
Okay.
But for the purpose of conversation, go on.
So you can download like 5 YouTube videos to your iPad, and you can watch them wherever you want. Yep. You can download stuff off Amazon Prime. You can download stuff on Netflix now. Yep. Can you download things on BBC iPlayer? I might be talking out my ass.
I think so.
Oh, biscuits.
Just tap it.
So we've got this ability not only to... I hate my life so much. Not only to watch things...
You could go round there, you're going to end up in a worse place.
I'm not very good at this game.
You're going to raise a child soon, man.
I know, right? I'm going to be a dad soon, and I've got no idea about trajectories or angles or anything like that. So yeah, look, we can watch more and get more out of the things that we watch now. Why... I mean, we don't even own cable TV anymore.
Oh, you can get more out of the services.
Yeah, because we already subscribe to Amazon Prime because we want stuff next day because we're like typical millennials, right?
Yeah,
so we've got Amazon Video, we've got Amazon Music because that's all part of the same thing.
Oh, it was
right?
you again. Fuck.
That's cool.
That went in. I would have cried.
So yeah, we got Netflix, we got BBC iPlayer, we got ITV Hub. I think we got like a Now TV generic TV package for like $5 a month.
Oh, the entertainment one, yeah.
Like between all of those services, including YouTube Premium, which I think is like what, $8.99, $9.99 a month.
$11.99.
$11.99.
Yeah,
but still,
it's a rip. I use YouTube every single day, but I still think $11.99 is too much to pay. That is the most millennial thing I've ever said. But it's because you get the YouTube Music Pass with it as well. I already pay for Spotify. I don't want it.
Exactly, yeah.
Charge me £6.
Give me an
YouTube
option
Premium.
to just download stuff, and I'll pay you $5 a month.
That's the thing. It's the downloading that gets me more than things. At work, I don't get any signal. If I want to watch something on my lunch.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
Yeah, I got no choice.
Right. Do you remember? I don't know if you were like a first generation iPhone user, but I think I had like the iPhone 3GS at the time.
My first smartphone was a HTC Desire. Probably came out at the same time as the 4. I want to say.
What was I leading to with that? Yeah, I remember you used to be able to have the background play on the YouTube app at the time.
Back when the YouTube app was a TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could
I
do
had
that.
iPod Touch, yeah, I remember.
And then they took that feature out for like 10 years.
And then they charge you for it.
And then they charge you $11.99 for it.
One of the good things about having an Android phone again is that you can download... Why is there a...
Hole.
Oh, okay, because that's not the hole. Fair enough. About having an Android phone is that you can download... Ooh, you can just sideload apps that you just download off an APK store.
Okay.
And one of the ones I get is like a fake YouTube one. I forgot
fake
what it's
YouTube?
called.
Like MeTube?
This
UshTube. Communist YouTube.
What was the one on iPhone? Tubity back in the day. Download music off that, yeah. No, it just lets you play stuff in the background, download things for free. And it's probably now that I've said that out loud, the police be kicking in my door in the morning.
This brings, well, speaking of police kicking in your door, this brings in like quite an interesting question. When was the last time you pirated something?
Saturday.
Saturday.
The first time, but the time before that was years ago, and it was a very specific problem I had to solve on Saturday.
Okay.
But before that, it's been a very, very long time. So
I think the advent of like streaming services and
reasonable pricing,
reasonable pricing, streaming services, not having to go to the shop to find the DVD specifically that you want to watch that evening
in good condition. As a former Blockbuster employee, I understand.
At a reasonable price. It's just become so much easier to take people's money than to arrest them.
Well, yeah, I remember downloading music off Pirate Bay back in like 2009 and 10, and having to do it like by album.
Yeah, and then you'd have to like import your albums into iTunes
because I had an iPod Touch
yeah,
at the time.
Whereas now you just have like, I mean, Steve Jobs was onto something where he was like, we're going to charge people 99 cents or 99 pence a track. Yeah. It just made it so much easier to. I did exactly the same thing.
I thought I was going to bounce off the wall.
It just made it so much easier to issue again. Made it so much easier just to buy things, right?
And I never bought a song off iTunes though. 99p to me was not worth it for a song. I'm not much.
So you always bought albums.
Yeah.
So I was the complete contradiction to that. I always bought songs because there would be tracks on albums that I didn't want to listen to.
But you don't strike me. This is going a bit off tangent, but it's not. You don't strike me as a music person. The only music I heard you listen to is 80s stuff you probably grew up with, and banter songs you send me like the Lonely Island and stuff that I wouldn't buy an album for. I probably Lonely Island's a bad example. I mean, I would do.
While we're doing this,
but Weird Al or someone who makes banter songs, I wouldn't buy an album of his. I'd probably buy a song.
Oh, I think I'd buy an album of Weird Al's more than anyone because.
I'm saying the Lonely Island was a bad.
I hope Weird Al's not listening, but he's not like a typical artist, right? He's. I mean, all artists are trying to like create a thing and then sell the thing that they created. It's all art, but he's like. He doesn't strike me as like having millions and millions and millions in the bank. He probably does. He's probably fucking loaded.
He probably is minted, yeah.
How do you find your top listened to songs on?
I wouldn't even know.
Spotify.
Do you reckon Weird Al's up there?
It could be. I've been listening to him quite a lot recently. So just having a look at my Spotify front page, and I'll just quickly tap this in. Biscuits.
So yeah, you don't strike me as a music person.
I mean, it's a lot of podcasts now as well.
So that is primarily what I listen to.
1975, Scouting for Girls, Panic at the Disco, George Ezra, Wombats, Fall Out Boy, Busted.
To be fair, every time I get in the car, it's
Alphabet.
always...
Yeah, it's pretty like generic. Like I'm a 14-year-old teenage girl from 2008.
It's interesting you say 14 because I think the music I listen to now is the same music I listened to when I was 14.
It's just
except for a few people because I used to be.
Well, 1975 wasn't around. When you
I don't know if you've ever dabbled in metal.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll listen to a little bit of Avenged Sevenfold, but it's like all my weird tastes are like they're not out there slightly; they're like incredibly far out there.
Okay. The thing I was going to say about metal was that metal is very elitist. It's very like I listen to heavier stuff than you. These aren't heavy enough to be metal. These aren't the right kind of metal. These are death metal, not black metal, and so on.
Right.
And I was
never heard this
big into that when I was like 14, 15. Because I had to be a cool kid. I had to listen to the heaviest stuff I ever could because that made me cool.
Right.
And because of that, I just disregarded all other music genres.
Okay.
And then
which is
specifically,
great for you, because now like you go back and you're like rediscovering all the stuff that was out at the time.
Exactly. So these days, I'll listen to songs from like 2008, 2009, and I'm like, this is a banger. How did I not know about this? I actually was a dickhead back in the day.
Because I was a remp.
But I specifically hated like all like grime and rap and hip hop stuff at the time.
But now there's some really cool stuff.
Exactly.
And you really listen to the really cool like poppy grime stuff now, and then you go back and you look at
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And I think it's the same for. I think I like it for similar reasons I like metal, and then I abandoned that. I discovered more about like punk music, which I really like, rap, which I really like, old school hip hop, I really like as well. But you just kind of grow into that, and once you discovered that, I've now got to go back and listen to everything again. But if I had to put on like a generic top 50 playlist that I had saved my phone of top 50 songs Andy Ross has listened to, it would just be Linkin Park and probably like Shine Down and Slipknot and stuff like that, Bullet for My Valentine, because they're probably all the same
Charlotte
things.
In that list.
Never much of a good Charlotte. The anthem was a banger though.
Oh mate, I tried listening to it recently. It's not that great. It doesn't hold up. I feel like if you've got to include in the lyrics that your song is an anthem, probably not an anthem.
That's
although saying,
what, you can't even touch that.
Saying that, on the same logic, Tenacious D's Tribute, that is amazing. Tenacious D's Tribute is an anthem.
It is.
But it's not an anthem. It's an anthem in tribute to the original anthem.
The Anthem Part 2.
Exactly.
Also by Good Charlotte.
The anthem. Is there an Anthem Part 2?
There probably is. The Anthem Part 2 rings a bell. It might be a Blink-182 song. I don't know.
Jeez.
But he can bounce off the apples, but he can't fucking hit the wood.
Come on, mate. It's just apples. Get over it. Thanks you, bro. I don't make the rules, mate. I just enforce them.
So yeah, but pirating music back in the day was a lot harder because I had to understand how to use torrent software, which is piss easy.
But when you were like
Pirate
13,
Bay Pirate Bay wasn't blocked back then.
Oh yeah. There's a
so
huge initiative to block a load of
literally just Google
material.
Pirate Bay and it came up. You go onto top 100.
But I feel
filtered
like that
by
was
music,
too little,
filtered
too
by
late.
metal.
Or is that Is that a product of us growing up and having access to disposable income, or is that the product of it genuinely being too little too late?
It's genuinely a lot easier to stream stuff now and get it legally. Plus, I think I'm old enough now that I don't have the time or energy to be bothered with it. I'd rather just pay £2.50 to rent it off Amazon Prime than go on Pirate Bay, find a working proxy that Sky or BT, whoever I'm with, have not blocked, download it, maybe get a shitty download speed because there's only 2 CDs. No one watched Candyman from 1991.
Yeah, true.
Where I can just pay £2.50 for it.
Exactly, yeah. And I think, like, on a more serious note, I don't want to come across as like a business hippie or anything, but we're recording a thing that is our thing at the moment. Where do we draw the line on paying people for their hard work, right? I mean, does that ever factor into it for you? Because I probably think about that like 1 or 2 times every time I think about pirating something. I'm like, I think the last thing I pirated was probably some software.
But what was it, or why did you pirate it? Because the reason I pirated something on Saturday was a very specific problem that was the only solution I had at the time.
So I'll give you my story. I'll keep the brand name out. It was a piece of video editing equipment, which I'm using for this, but I pirated it to check if it would work and do what I wanted it to do, because I couldn't find any tutorials and the particular
and no free trial.
There's no free trial for
Adobe Cloud or something.
Well, we know it's not Adobe now that I've pirated. Turns out the piece of software that I wanted or was considering using didn't do what I wanted it to do, so got rid of it and gave my money to Adobe. But then should I feel bad? Because that other company should have had like, you know, a 12-month subscription off of me just for me to trial it.
The two logical things about that would, you would have bought the software. Ooh.
That was a good yeet.
You would have bought the software, realised it didn't do the thing you did, and requested a refund for it. I don't know if you can do that.
From my and I'm not.
Or you would have bought it and then.
If anybody cares enough, they can probably figure out the other big video editing software. But I believe they don't offer any refunds. So like once you buy it, it's like a digital key thing. Like you've got it. Or once you've activated it.
Yeah.
Like buying a Steam game. Like you know, once you've installed it and you've played it, that's kind of it for most of them.
You get 2 hours on Steam, I think.
Do you?
Which with the editing software would have solved your problem, and the person would have got your money, or you wouldn't have known it was for you.
Yeah, totally. Okay, what was the circumstances surrounding your?
So I've got
stroke, by the way.
I've got Sky Q at home.
Okay.
And you can record stuff to a Skybox and watch it on your phone, but you can't do that remotely. You have to be in your Wi-Fi network.
Okay.
So I recorded an F1 race at home. Because it's on Sky Sports, you can't watch it on the app. You can watch it live, but you can't watch it on demand. So I had to Pirate Bay it so I could watch it on the train home.
Right, okay.
So it's a very specific problem, but before that, I reckon the last thing I downloaded must have been...
Which the other solution
2-3
is like
ago.
setting up a complex VPN for your house, just so that remotely you can touch your... I don't even know if a Skybox would work in a VPN. I don't even know how you'd even begin to negotiate.
It'd be a lot more stuff than I was willing to put in, whereas I could just Pirate Bay it in 30 seconds.
I'll ask you this question then. Was the thing that you pirated, was it available via another online streaming service? And if so, why?
I don't... think so. I know Channel 4 do F1 coverage as well, so it could have been available through them.
4OD.
On 4OD, but 4OD is not the best streaming app. So
right, okay.
But then again, that's not an excuse to.
Well, maybe we're
not
just
an excuse to pirate stuff.
Maybe we're just moving to a culture now where it's like pirating stuff is becoming less and less. What's the phrase I'm trying to use here? Pirating stuff is becoming more uncommon.
As
the service for all the other things is becoming more common.
If you pulled a 14-year-old off the street and said to them
10 years ago, would you pirate everything?
And said when was the last time you pirated something, they probably... I'd hedge the bet they'd say I either don't know what you're on about or have never done that.
Right, okay.
Because I think in their eyes, if it's not on Netflix,
so
it doesn't exist. Yeah.
What was the first game you got that forced you to use Steam? Just while we're talking about pirating.
TF2.
Team Fortress 2.
2009?
Mine was,
I think I got it.
Mine was Age of Empires 3.
Okay. When? Which was when, sorry?
What year did Age of Empires 3
No, what year did you get it?
No, I got it the day it came out.
Okay.
So
I was brand new to PC gaming, knew nothing about it at the time, so when I downloaded TF2 and it downloaded Steam, that was just the thing for me. The last PC game I played before that must have been like Tiberium Sum, when I was like on my dad's lap and he was really playing it and I had a keyboard that was unplugged.
18th of October 2005, so I would have used my birthday money from 2005 to buy that game. I remember my mom taking me to the shop to get it, and I went home and I put the disc in, and it was like, oh, you need a thing called Steam to play this game. You need to like create an account and stuff. And obviously, I was like a toddler, like a fetus at the time. So,
were you 14?
Yeah, I was like 14, I think. How old was I in 2005? Hang on.
You would have turned 14. You were born in 91, weren't you?
Oh yeah. So what? 14. I had to use my calculator to get to the same answer as you. I was 14. I should just trust you. Okay, so yeah, I was 14, but I wasn't trusted with my own internet connection because my parents were quite overprotective.
We got on the subject. I'll let you finish story and I'll pick up the point.
I then had to like beg my dad for a week to plug the internet into my PC in my room because I couldn't play the new game that I got with my birthday money. Because I needed to download a thing called Steam. Okay. And like it was like a whole like first party like
and
obviously
probably
their first
having to explain that to your dad. I don't know your dad's computer literacy.
Oh, the dude was like
having to explain that to your dad. Like, I need to download an online service to play this game. Because the first question my dad would have said was, "How much is it, and how much you have to pay a month to play it?" And I'd be like, "No, it's just an online shop that I've got to install and not buy anything from." My dad would be losing his shit.
Yeah,
tearing his already bald held out.
Like it doesn't make sense.
I'm either lying to him or it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. I mean, it was the same when I had. I got World of Warcraft as well, which I think came out in 2004.
That rings a bell, yeah.
That was a good.
Thank you.
That was a cheeky
Finesse the double bogey.
Yeah, so World of Warcraft came out. I want to say 2004, right?
2004 rings a bell, yeah, because 2004 was like a Sega era game. Like GTA came out, Half-Life 2 came out, and World of Warcraft might have come out.
Yeah, I think it came out December 2004. I'm going to just quickly fact check that as well before I start talking shit.
But yeah, like having to...
Yeah, 23rd of November 2004.
Nice,
pretty close when I said December.
Nice.
I was only 6 days off. 7 days off. So 31 days in...
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 30.
That's the most amazing thing I've just seen. You count the months on your knuckles so you know which ones to have. Or...
Yeah. It makes a lot...
It makes sense because February you're actually missing 2/3 of a finger. It's quality dad jokes.
It's always...
Oh, I just spaffed that shot so hard. Ended up further back.
You said dad joke and made the word spaff. Those things don't go in the end.
Right, yeah. So anyways, I got World of Warcraft, installed it.
Yep.
And I had 30 days worth of game time.
Fuck. Spaffed it even more.
That was terrible. I had 30 days worth of game time with my thing, and I figured it out. Like I had a whole economy. Oh dear. I had a whole economy system down. Like my paper round would give me X amount of money, and I only my World of Warcraft monthly subscription cost me 1 paper round a week.
That's
right,
good,
so I'm 3 paper rounds up a month. Like, is how I'm thinking of this.
Okay.
Like, the other 3 paper rounds I can spend on chewits and stuff. How old was I? 14, 13. Yeah. Probably cigarettes. You know, just the stuff that a 13-year-old kid living in the country needs to buy, like cider and cigarettes and flick knives. But
I hate this hole so much, man.
This is a terrible hole. Trying to convince my mum and dad to go, look, I need bank details to create an account, but I've got a prepaid game time card. So
did you go to game every month and buy a card?
It's not going to let you... Well, what I had to do was I had to get my brother-in-law, like, because he was, like, young enough to understand that not everybody on the internet is trying to steal your money, but also old enough to actually have a bank account, which was a big plus for me. So I had to get my brother-in-law to let me use his... Actually, use his bank details to create an account. He did the whole process with me, so he I probably still knows my World of Warcraft password, which violates the terms of service as well, by the way. You should never share your online passwords with anyone. But it's the loophole that I had to get through. And then he deleted all of his online banking info, and I could just use it with the game time. But like the whole process of trying to like make parents that are not tech illiterate, but like online safety illiterate, to try and help you solve a problem, that took me like 3 weeks.
Well,
I don't think I played until the new year.
We need to take notes of all the things we talk about because we're coming up with many loose ends here, and I've got stories I want to tell that just are escaping me.
Well, yeah. I guess if people are ever listening to this, like the game sessions that we'll have, we just go off. Like, how did we get onto copyright law with Rick Astley? Anyways, tell your story. Tell your story.
So, no, back the point I want to pick up on. The point I want to pick up on that you came up with earlier is where do you draw the line on paying people for their time and their creation, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that you do that I don't, not because I don't see a point in it, but there's never been anyone that I've been that invested in. You donate to Patreons. I've never been involved with any creators or like a creator that much.
Shot, by the way, sorry.
I'm gonna fail this one anyway. I've never been involved with the creator that much or followed someone so intently that who's had a Patreon that I can give money to.
Your money?
No, I've never. None of the people I watch or follow or do whatever have Patreons, and
so
if they do,
what's the question?
I don't
why
understand them. Why do you give to them, and who do you, and what kind of people do you give to? And don't have to say specific.
So the thing that got me into that ecosystem, right, and I guess this is probably going to give the guy more credit than he's maybe worth, but I do think he's a genuinely fun entertainer. But at the time I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking I want to hear him say my name on the stream. So I subbed to Dr. Disrespect.
That's the only thing I get. So Twitch subscriptions I kind of get, but still don't get Twitch at all, so continue.
So the way I think of Twitch is it's like, do you ever play free-to-play games? How do you feel about microtransactions and free-to-play games?
I'm totally fine with microtransactions.
Skins and stuff, and
totally fine.
Hero rotations on like Heroes of the Storm and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
totally fine with it as long as it doesn't unbalance the game. I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah, so it's that's how I think about supporting creators.
But then again, if someone bought like a level 120 character on WoW, I wouldn't be pissed with that.
Yeah, okay, because it's just, I mean, the leveling. WoW's quite a specific case study at the moment because Classic WoW launched recently. I totally didn't mute my WhatsApp on my computer, so we just had like a big ba-doom come through. Oh, mate, you almost had that.
I'm taking them all because we're both going to know this.
Fine. So yeah, look, World of Warcraft. This is the analogy I'll use to explain your question. The game model used to be leveling and grinding is the game.
That's one of the big criticisms of WoW Classic is a lot of people forgot how grindy it was.
But that was the game back then. That the game wasn't getting to the end of the game. The game was playing the game.
The real experience was the friends we met along the way.
The real adventure was all the friends we made along the way. Oh dear. But now it's a very different game. Whereas, so for instance, it would take you something like 2 or 3 hours to get to level 15 and be able to queue for dungeons. And by the way, queuing for dungeons wasn't queuing for dungeons like you hit a button and you get into a queue and then it takes you to an instance. It was you physically went to the dungeon and you queued up until you could... At least, mate. You physically queued up in the dungeon until... Should we go for another one?
Yeah.
You physically queued up into the dungeon until...
How does that work? Surely you just get to the front of the queue. It's the non-collision model.
You kind of just wait until somebody needs what you've got, right?
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Seeing as we're speaking of WoW, we'll do a dungeon one. So if you're playing a tank and nobody needs a tank, you might be waiting there ages at the front of dead mines until somebody needs a tank. But if somebody needs,
you
like,
can't enter until you're in a party.
Until you're in a party,
sense.
yeah.
There's
absolutely.
no matchmaking.
You can make a party of two and just go in, but you'll just get your ass handed to you. Whereas now, World of Warcraft, the game is very much the end game is the experience, like all the things that you can do at end game, all the epic adventures that you get to go on, etc.
You need that off the pole.
That was amazing. So I don't have a problem with people buying those 110, 120 level boosts to the end game, getting their way up to the experience. I think the only level boost at the moment is like 110, and I think the level cap's 120. So you get up to the last expansion, and then you get to experience.
Is that through the Blizzard store? You buy that?
Yeah, you can buy it, or you get. I think you get it on like a premium pack. If you buy the game, you get like a one free.
That's cool because the thing that really intrigued me about World of Warcraft when it first came out, when I first understood what it was like dungeons.
Yeah.
Or raids or whatever, because you have a common objective you got to do with a bunch of people to get a good thing.
Yeah.
And when I started,
I thought it was going to be like a little shortcut thing.
I thought the same. That's what, and then that was what really intrigued me. But then you have to get to 60, 70, or 80, whatever the level cap was at the time. As I thought, I don't have the time or effort or money at the time to pay for a subscription.
I've got another thing that I want to say about that's WoW related, but I'll just answer your question on the why I give money to people thing. So. The reason I don't have a problem with people buying like mounts and stuff and cosmetic items and level 110 boosts on WoW.
No, I've got no problem with microtransactions. It was why you give to patrons that was more interesting because I've never been that invested in someone to that's had a Patreon that I've wanted to give money to.
I just got a par for you, so
Thank
sorry
you.
about that. You can take my shot. Yeah, so the reason I give money to these people.
Oh no.
Oh biscuits. I mean, this is technically me, so, go nuts.
I'm sorry.
It's alright. The reason I give money to these people is like, when you play a free-to-play game and you've been playing it for absolute hours and they've generated zero money off of you, that's not sustainable. Like, so many of the really cool games that I've seen, there was a company that I actually did some business for in my professional life called Splash Damage. They made Dirty Bomb.
Okay.
Dirty Bomb... I don't want to say it was like not marketed well or wasn't. Jesus, that was a lot closer than I thought. For whatever reason, they failed to meet their obligations in terms of financials, and the game ended up going to community support, which I think it is at now, or I don't know if it's been closed down entirely. So
it came out to low success.
Yeah, it was a free-to-play.
Dropped it down to community support in terms of... Oh,
I thought that was in.
What was in too?
Oh, it was your ball. I'm sorry, I'm just going to pick up from here. So, okay, never mind. Jesus.
So community support in terms of they just Splashdown was managed servers, or was it now peer-to-peer, and community stuff is like people contributing skins and rounds and stuff. I don't know
now when I say community support, I mean the game is run host it's only community servers that are hosted, and the community runs the game.
Okay.
The Splash Damage have incredibly low involvement now, other than physically owning the IP. I don't think you can buy any stuff anymore. So the game has gone end of life, right? And I remember thinking,
GG, man.
Wow. Still a 3. I remember thinking, well, I really enjoyed that game. I didn't play it a whole deal, but if I'd have just put a little bit in for the time that I had, maybe it would have survived, or even survived a little bit longer. I mean, all games are going to die eventually.
So
the way I think about Patreon and Twitch subscriptions and stuff like that is, it's a little bit of money that I wouldn't miss. I think some people...
Yeah, most of them are like $5 a month or something.
Yeah, $5, £5 a month. I mean, what's a fiver? 2 cups of coffee?
Oh, yeah, 1 good cup of coffee.
1 good cup of coffee, or if you're tight like me, 2 cups of coffee. So yeah, why wouldn't you give somebody that money? And if enough people like the thing that they're doing, they'll continue to support it. And there are what I've realised is, and I don't want to become like a Twitch snob or anything, like subbing to Dr. Disrespect, and there's a guy that plays some 4X games called Quill18. I really enjoy watching his streams because he knows how the game works, and I've put thousands of hours into these games. I still no idea how it works. I'm just copying what he does.
So, to go off tangent again, but still be on a similar thing.
And you just potted my ball, but thanks. I'll do the same for you.
I'm always interested in why people watch things on Twitch, because I don't understand Twitch.
I guess Twitch
I would rather watch a 10-minute, super edited, consistently funny and good video. I'm going to sit down for 10 minutes and watch and understand.
100%, so would I.
Streams, I don't understand, but the more people I talk to, the more people that say, I watch streams on Twitch because they are the top 1% player in the world, and I like to watch them do well.
I don't really like
I like to watch them do pro strats and
so
win,
I can kind of answer that question and
answer
answer the question before as well. So the reason that I stopped giving money to people like Dr. Disrespect and those types of people, and I move on to the likes of the Quill18, and there's a girl that I watch called Psych, Irish lady who plays a lot of Elite Dangerous.
Okay.
But I realise now, by supporting these smaller streamers, you're actually having like quite a large impact on the life that they want to lead.
Okay, yeah.
Like they want to. They're committing their. Wow,
Fuck.
That was terrible. They're committing their time
Well,
every day,
first.
or most days, to provide a service to you that's completely free of charge, no obligation. You can just turn up and just watch.
Yeah.
Right. You can just be the person that just Wow.
How?
You can just be the person that turns up and just consumes the thing that they're making. Or you could play an active role in actually supporting the lifestyle and saying, do you know what, I actually enjoy that and I can attribute a monetary value to it. Here's some money for your time. And I guess it's kind of like, it's almost like communism in the sense of, or extremely socialist capitalism, actually.
I used to be able to jump.
In the sense of, I decide how much of her time is worth to me. Right? Because I can choose how much to donate. I can choose what tier to subscribe at. It's a non-obligatory thing.
That's the one thing I don't get about Twitch, the different levels of sub. I get it from your point of view, is that I watch this person every night for 4 hours before I go to bed. They deserve $25, the top tier, is it?
Yeah, I think so,
$25 of my time, because $25 a month for, let's say they stream 5 days a week for 20 hours.
Yeah.
20 hours a month is totally fine in my eyes. But the reward for that, on the other side, in terms of not having an impact on their life, is emotes.
Yeah, I think that's just like a community engagement thing.
Okay.
It's just
because
like
I don't really get Twitch chat in terms of in my head I can't make. I've never made online friends.
A lot of people look at Twitch and they look at like your Shrouds, your Dr. Disrespects, your Ninjas, your Tacos.
Can't say that on Twitch anymore.
What, Dr. Disrespect?
Ninja? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he moved.
Boy, isn't
He's
he?
Mixer now. with his wheelbarrow full of fucking cash from Microsoft, which is a totally cool business decision if you got money for it. I'm sure.
They must have had to pay him
ridiculous amount of money.
Absolute bang. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Microsoft, because Ninja must be making conservatively
millions,
5,000 a day.
You reckon? I reckon that's incredibly more than that.
Yeah, conservatively 5,000 a day he must be making.
Yeah.
I know Social Blade is complete shit, so I would not use that.
So
not shit. It's huge. It's like
inaccurate.
you might make £1, you might make 100,000.
Yeah. So there's a lot of wiggle room in that. So to answer your question about the Twitch votes, I think it's more a case of don't look. That's terrible, bud. Don't look at your big streamers, because the Twitch chat moves so rapidly.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I've
doesn't
never,
make sense.
Yeah.
But it is a really cool community thing for. Oh my God, I was through a wall there. It is a really cool community thing for smaller chats that have regular people that turn up, and you do get to know people.
Yeah, I can see the thing. I've only ever followed one kind of real Twitch streamer that I would consistently watch. One or two, but one consistently.
Oh.
Oliver.
I can't remember what my Twitch handle is. I haven't used it in ages.
It was like one or two people I've consistently followed. One I followed pretty well. The other one was just like something I'd stick on. She was really good at Overwatch, so I used that to try and look to get better. And now I've said that out loud, that makes sense of the complete opposite of what I said earlier. Why do people watch it? To get good.
Yeah.
But she was just a good personality in terms of she was very happy about it. Whereas I think a lot of people, when I think of Twitch streamers, I think of them just sitting away in their room in dark rooms, which is the most like boomer thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, totally.
The other guy that I used to watch, he streams through the day, and when I used to work at night, so obviously it was nice to have someone to stream through the day. British guy.
Yeah.
20 or so people, concurrent viewers. Chat moved at a decent pace that could keep up with the conversation and have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
And I kind of got that, but I don't know if that just appeals to the slightly lonely person in me.
I think, yeah, we're
because I definitely see the appeal in, maybe not the appeal, but I definitely see the validity in a lot of people being like, I'll give this person $1 and they will say my name on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
And feeling some sort of validation
like
from
you
that.
That's
totally valid. Exactly, that's
thing.
totally valid. Not doing people down to do that at all.
I feel we're massively, as a species, moving towards a culture where we communicate more electronically than face to face. And I say that with a hint of irony, because my job is to communicate with people face to face.
I would much rather talk to someone face to face.
Exactly, but that's because we're of a slightly.
We're a weird generation.
We're a weird generation in the sense of, we didn't get the internet until we were like 15, 16, so we still played outside.
Yeah. Fuck off!
Well, that works too.
Oh, good.
So yeah, but I do get it. I do get, you see the rise of anxiety in people and all of these social problems that they have. And you think, is it a product of communicating? That was terrible. Is it a product of communicating wholly or 90% electronically, or would these things be things that we could fix with just a face-to-face conversation, or just more socialisation?
We went on a big tangent then. A useful tangent, because I learnt a lot.
Where the fuck do you go?
But I learnt a lot. But you give to Patreons to help the longevity of the channel and to show someone that their time is worth your money.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're kind of compensated from it.
100%. Okay. Yeah, the same reason you'd buy skins in a game. You don't necessarily need the skins. The skins might look cool, but ultimately you're supporting that game.
The other one you've mentioned quite a lot is that you give to a lot of tabletop channels, or tabletop people, or one tabletop person, in the hope that they will buy different models. I guess that is a way of supporting their time and improving the channel very hands-on. And in something like tabletop, that makes a lot of sense. You need actual money to buy actual models to actually review.
Oh yeah, it's like a physical thing. It's like a physical.
Whereas I've got 300 games in my Steam library. If I want to piss through them and put it on Twitch, I don't need any money for that.
Exactly. Yeah. All you need is another monitor to
watch
reviewing.
Whereas reviewing figures that you need to physically buy with actual money
and physically build, and then there's an element of skill to paint them.
A community support would be a big thing.
Totally.
Like, so someone gives you 40 quid and says, I've had a month of watching your stuff while I've been in bed ill. Here's 40 quid, because that's how much would I pay for a round of drinks.
But
you can go and do some of that and actually make a physical video from
it. Exactly, yeah.
Someone gives me 40 quid to go and buy some beer with. Is not going to improve. Oh, probably wouldn't improve my Twitch stream because I'm boring as fuck. Getting drunk would be really interesting.
Exactly, yeah. There's no point in hiding it. We're incredibly inspired by the. Oh, that's why I failed, because there's a hole there in the corner.
I thought it was a ridge.
So yeah, we're incredibly inspired by the people that we like. So there's certain YouTube channels that I don't want to say inspired in the sense that we're copying them. We're trying all we can to really differentiate ourselves and do, for fuck's sake, and do our own thing. But there's only so many things you can do. We're always going to be doing unboxing videos. I'm not entirely sure if we should do unboxing videos, but it's a kind of an easy video to do to get into we're going to start playing this game, so let's have a look what comes in the starter box. But yeah, oh my god, it's the third time in a row I've done that. So yeah, it's mini wargaming on tabletop, previously known as Beast of War, which I think they had to change their name because it had war in it.
Tabletop as in the Will Wheaton thing?
No, there's the Will Wheaton channel, I can't remember what it's called. There's a Critical Role as well, which is on that same channel, I think.
Geek and Sundry one.
Geek and Sundry.
Felicia Day one.
Felicia Day and Matt Mercer. In fact, Felicia Day and Matt Mercer was the kind of... They taught me D&D without having to teach me D&D, if that makes sense. So I joined a D&D group. It was a fantastic group. But they really taught me the whole role-playing aspect and how to get into character and what to do with your character. And not like in a nerdy sense of like I'm dressing up as a goblin now, but like in a morality sense of, you know, what your different character wants, motivations, that kind of stuff. And it just made the game a lot more interesting for me. And I guess we've kind of just all... Jesus, this is going terribly. We've all just embraced being more nerdy. I'm just going to keep yeeting into this. Okay, quick toilet break. We're back. I didn't realise we've been recording for 53 minutes.
Yeah, you're going to have to edit this down into a bunch of video. Yeah, just put it into like 4 or 5 parts, man, about like culture and how it's moved on and shit like that.
Okay, yeah.
Because the first bit's all about YouTube.
Is that what we need to do? Is just like do smaller videos? Because I'm completely new to this.
I reckon small videos is your best way forward. As we've both said, we'd rather watch a 10-minute video than
one 50-minute video.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If I see a video is 50 minutes, I probably wouldn't watch it.
Okay, fair enough. What were we talking about before we went in? I genuinely can't remember. That was a good hit because you can almost get a line on the hole now.
Hey.
Yeah, what were we talking about before? Oh, bollocks. Your hit?
I'll finish that in a second. Ooh, I forgot what we were talking about. There was something you had to say earlier as well that is completely gone. So
yeah, I think we were talking about who we took inspiration from, as in, i.e., this channel. And this channel is
for point of reference, I am here as a guest. I'm not a founding father or
person involved.
Key participant.
Yeah, we're just two dudes playing golf.
Just to make sure that I have no real creative input in this in terms of... In this video, I'm sure we will talk about what to do with it, or you will tell me what you want to do with it.
Yeah, I think
but in terms of like an unboxing of tabletop stuff, I will have no creative input.
The video...
I don't really want any creative input in that because I don't know anything about it.
What's the phrase I'm trying to think of here? So, there's a lot... I mean, tabletop gaming is a hobby I got into by mistake, right? It's
mistake?
Yeah, so... I
remember the point you did. We were in a McDonald's drive-thru, and you were like, "We're going to Warhammer. Do you want to join?" And
so I dabbled.
Was your first thing.
I dabbled in Warhammer 40k. It might have been 6th edition or 7th edition, whatever the last edition is before. That was amazing, and you didn't even look at it because
I didn't. I'm really sorry.
It's cool. You'll see it in the video. So yeah, so I dabbled in 40k, but then there was like a few years where I didn't touch tabletop gaming ever again. So I did that, but it bounced off the rim and then went in. Kind of like that, but better.
Yeah, Warhammer and Warhammer 40k are two different things, aren't
they? So you got Warhammer Fantasy, which is now Age of Sigmar, skirmish battle game, and then Warhammer 40k is the kind of space sci-fi game. But anyways, we digress again as we do. Yeah, so we were cleaning out the garage after my granddad passed away because a lot of his stuff that was left to my dad was moved to my garage. So we were clearing out the garage, and there was a lot of old World War II memorabilia and models and stuff. Yeah. My granddad was a model maker.
Okay. What kind of models?
Just like
ships and bottles and stuff.
Everything. Yeah. Like ships
and
like
bottles, planes and
ships,
stuff.
Not in bottles. Planes, soldiers, tanks, loads of stuff. thinking this stuff's actually pretty cool, and there's a lot of work and stuff gone into it. None of it we could reuse for the hobby that we chose.
Mm-hmm.
But then me and my dad we were up in Wellington, which is a small town in Telford.
Why would you do that?
Because there's a gaming shop there.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So we went to the gaming shop and we picked up a starter set of a game called Bolt Action, which is made by Warlord Games.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes with some German figures and some American figures, and the hobby just kind of spiraled from there. And people that are listening to this can't see, but my games room is now like wall-to-wall shelves on the back wall, just covered in different armies. There's Romans, there's Spartans, there's British infantry, there's a Soviet force from the Battle of Kursk, there's a German grenadier and German late war force and German early war force, there's boats, there's loads of different cool stuff. There's a sci-fi game up there as well called Gates of Antares, which we're just starting to get into purely for the channel. SPQR, the new skirmish game. So it's kind of like a hobby that's evolved into like a whole thing. Especially if you've got like an addictive personality, I wouldn't recommend tabletop gaming because you will buy a lot of stuff. Which is great if you've got disposable income for it. Not so great if you also need to eat. Yeah, but so that's how we kind of got into it. And then we were thinking that the channel would be... So there's a big resurgence in tabletop gaming in terms of its popularity online. So there's loads of channels that do video games. That's all right. Loads of channels that do video games. Loads of channels that do tabletop stuff. Haven't really seen a channel that does both. We're about to find out why.
There's a good resurgence in tabletop games from the small sliver I see. Like tabletop, like you said, is a big thing.
Yeah. Board
games I completely understand and would play.
Yeah.
I've got no beef for tabletop. It's just that I don't like the longevity of it. I know you can get smaller battles. You always tell me you get small battles last an hour or two.
Yeah.
But the only games I've seen in person have been like hours of stuff.
Yeah. So
I know if I sit down and play a game of whatever, werewolf or something, werewolf's going to take me 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's...
If it's Haunted House on the Hill, it's going to take me an hour and a half at most.
That's kind of like the criticism with the Warhammer games, definitely from our club anyway, is that the first 45 minutes of the game is watching somebody else do stuff, because it's a turn-by-turn game. It's like a you go, I go kind of game. Whereas the bolt action or the warlord games typically tend to be a more random, like you might move a thing and then I might move two things, and then you might have three and then I get one, but then you get one and then I get two.
I played Ruse back in the day. That was fun as balls, man.
Ruse?
Love
this
Ruse.
Is you. Okay. Ruse was that the PC game?
It was a tabletop game when it first came out, or I played a tabletop version of it.
Ah, right, okay.
But instead of having models, you have counters.
Right, okay, yeah. I mean, to be honest, that's kind of how I think of tabletop games.
And all the counters look the same, but they all have different values to them, essentially.
Okay.
So you can move in with one counter, and the other person thinks, oh, that's one tank, so I only need to take one tank to fight. It turns out it's actually a jet.
Right, okay.
And it's all about
the strategy. 3 jets.
Well, 3 would be 3 counters.
Ah, right,
so it'd be one of any unit, or you can walk in with 10 units, and they're 10 people in one tank.
Right,
or 9 people in one tank.
Okay,
and it's all about the kind of strategy game behind that. That was pretty
like
interesting.
The game of trying to outthink
exactly.
people. Yeah.
But in the most like basic form, it literally is just like rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, totally. And I like that kind of game. I mean, if I'm honest, tabletop gaming, and this will come as no surprise as more videos come onto this channel, but the painting and the assembling and all of that kind of stuff is not the thing that I'm into. The thing that I'm into is actually playing the game. Those things are just like the gateway to get to the actually playing the game.
It's interesting that you say that, because when it comes down to computers, I look at hardware videos now of stuff I'm probably never going to buy, I just want to know about.
Yeah.
And the assembly of computers and tinkering with stuff is more appealing than playing games these days.
Yeah, totally.
100%.
Yeah. And I think it's like, it just goes into that Neanderthal brain of ours that we have of constantly improving and making things better, I guess. Like, we just want to make better stone tools to kill things with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's kind of it. I just want to play the game. I really enjoy playing the games. However, yeah, painting and actually hobbying is not my idea of fun. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on a personal level for tabletop gaming. Yeah, I wish there was more games where it was just like ready to go out of the box. The Game of Thrones game is a good example of that, ready to go out of the box.
Oh fuck, I remember now you've got to get on the cart.
Oh gee, It's you again.
I'm going to do this unless I try and
You just got to wait for it to come past, haven't you? Hoof. Oh, dude. Yeah. This is a hard one.
Can't hoof enough there.
The game.
Yeah, you can hoof from there. You just need to tap off the edge.
The Game of Thrones game is a good example because it comes with the Lannisters are all red plastic and the Starks are all white plastic. So it's incredibly... That was terrible. Incredibly easy to do. But, not a lot of games are like that.
There was a base question I asked at the root of that question.
I can't remember.
But it's gone now, definitely. Go back to the YouTube for a second, and you can kind of splice this in the YouTube section if you want to do that. If you want to splice it up that way. You said you don't have digital TV now.
Yeah.
You only have YouTube and subscription services.
Yeah.
At what point did you make that decision? What made
when
you
we
have
were
that
paying
decision?
like 70 quid
and
a
what
month.
did you watch on live TV that made you keep it for so long?
I didn't watch anything on live TV. Everything that I watched, I could watch either live on demand. I hate you so much.
Fuck, hate
Thought
me.
that was in. The only thing I ever watched on live telly was stuff that I could get on stream, on a streaming service. So that was a real good motivator for me to save £70 a month on cable TV. You done it. So on that basis, I mean, I don't know if Amy watches anything, but her opinion's kind of invalid. So on the count of her being a woman and not the primary breadwinner, so what's she going to do? Argue with me? Not a chance.
Cool.
But no, on a serious, biscuits. On a serious note, there was nothing that we really watched. I mean, Amy would love to watch like that monotonous, boring type of TV, like The Hills and Teen Mom and.
So was it just? Was there just a moment you realised I haven't actually watched Sky in 6 weeks? We're going to cancel.
Yeah, I think I said to her one day, I was like, I'm going to call up and renew our contract with Virgin, and I was then thinking, what do we actually need? Like, I'm going to cancel the home because they always tell you, like, you can't just get the home phone; you need to get the broadband and the TV as well. Like,
who is ringing up and saying, "I want a home phone"?
Exactly. This is what I want to know, right? So I cancelled. I was like, get rid of the home phone, and the dude was like, well, it'll be cheaper if you get the home phone, TV, and broadband as a package. I was like, also get rid of the TV.
I just want mother all
because I've not used that in a while. Oh,
you're
this is killing me.
This now.
I'm not. I'm trying to be gentle. Oh, too gentle.
Under yeet,
over yeet, yeeting free. The Yeeters of Wimbledon. Oh, that was close, man. Oh, jeez. How many? Okay, I guess it's 12 hits. That's it. Okay, right.
What the fuck?
Yeet! Well, that was too much yeet.
I don't know where to yeet to, though. Okay, it's over.
Have you got to get into the cart?
I think it's just over there I've got to get.
I think you've got to try and get into one of the carts, right? Do the carts take you out?
Oh, they could do. The only thing I watch on live TV is
I think they do,
sports, and there's no way to watch that on demand at the moment.
Right.
For BT Sport primarily. Sky Sports, you can get it on Now TV because it's owned by Sky. You can buy day passes, week passes, month passes, whatever you want.
Yeah, like a typical pay-per-view thing. Yeah.
But BT Sport don't have a facility like that unless I want to pay for
a BT TV subscription.
A BT subscription, exactly. Or I get I think you can pay for it on your phone. But
why do you like sports? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't look like a sport person. And up until about 5 years, I had no interest in sports.
I'd really love to be the guy that was into sports. She'll go, by the way. You need to take your turns quicker, otherwise this video is going to go on for another hour. I'd really love to be. I thought that was like some sort of metric then. I'd really like to be the guy that's into sports, but I'm not. I just don't get the fascination.
I got into sports for very specific reasons. If it was up to I probably wouldn't have naturally found it or had any inclination in it.
Yeah. So tell me about why you now like football. Who's your football team?
Arsenal, my football team.
Arsenal, the mighty Gunners. Is that right?
That's right.
Oh, wow.
I was going to make the Brentford joke.
No, I thought Arsenal Gunners. That makes sense.
I thought you were going to make the Brentford joke you always make about just to piss Amy off.
Yeah, my wife's I say devout. She's a casual football supporter in the sense of football's like a religion in West London. So if you're from the area that she's from, you support Queen's Park Rangers, QPR. Money was. Yeah, but their historical rivals have been Brentford, so I'd always cheer for Brentford, just on the sense that I don't want her to be too happy.
That's good reason.
Yeah. It's a good balance though, because if QPR win, and it's a strong if because they are terrible, she is really happy. But then, well, that was terrible. Yeah, Brentford are like the me playing golf it. QPR are like the me playing golf it.
Fuck! What are the odds?
I'd say pretty high.
They're pretty high. They're running around. They're yeeting around you, I say.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, apart from sports, I watched nothing on live TV.
Did the same thing as you, but it just didn't work
I
out
watched
just as bad.
nothing on live TV, so I have my Netflix that I barely use.
When was the last time you Netflixed and chilled? Do you feel like you're...
That's a solo Netflix and chill. I've been rewatching Community on Amazon recently.
Do you feel like you're ever pressured into sex because of a Netflix subscription? These are the real questions we need to answer.
I genuinely went on a date with a girl who, second date, her idea, she just said, how about Netflix and chill? And I got to her house and she was already naked.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you weren't joking, the meme is real.
Wow, very strong.
Some people call it the naked woman, I call it harassment.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's very assumptive that you'd be into that.
Yeah, so it's the 50k in my account now, though.
Wow. What's it like actually responding to the ads that say local singles in your area want to chat?
Imagine if you blew yourself up in some sort of jihadi mission to get your 45 virgins and then you just end up in Game Workshop.
That's how we're going to solidify the demographic.
Oh, fuck!
Wow. I'm leaving it in, though.
Thank you for the intro.
Yeah. Totally. I'll just soundbite that for the beginning.
So I never thought about that.
Oh, that's great.
I was no Frankie Ball joke.
But no, let's...
You had to eat over there the whole fucking time. I would have eaten it a lot harder if I knew that.
That's it. Jesus, I can't even words now. We've been recording for so long. I only realised that recently. Nailed it.
Oh, meant to be over there. Cool.
Yeah. I can't remember what we were... Jesus, you were committed there, weren't you?
You've got better undereat than overeat.
So how long have we known each other now, Andy?
We said this the other day. You met me when I was 18.
So
10
years
nearly 7 years.
Are you 20?
I'm 25 this year.
Ah, right, okay. I was thinking back when I was 18. I was
You were, what,
older.
21, 22?
I guess so, yeah. We met at...
You're 3 years older than me, yeah. So you were in
is it okay
21.
to talk about where we used to work? Is that allowed?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not. I'm not planning on going back there, are you?
No, yeah.
Yeah, so we met at the Telford branch of Vodafone, right?
We did indeed.
Yeah.
It was my first job out of school. No, wait. First job out of school was the cinema. And it was...
what was
dog shit.
Are the perks real at the cinema? You get to watch every film before everyone else?
You don't get to watch it before everyone came out. You get free tickets to watch them, and you get to watch whatever film you want when you're not on shift, really. But when you're not on shift, why you want to be at work?
Yeah, true that. Yeah,
that was my case.
I remember that. I guess it's a meme that went around. Like, imagine working at the job centre. If you got fired, you have to go back
in the morning.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of like that, right?
Yeah, I was like,
you just go home and pirate, right? We've already covered this.
Oh, back in the day, definitely. I've always had strong beef against pirating a film in the cinema. I don't want to watch. Right, there's a question for you.
I don't want to watch somebody's camcorder recording.
I was just about to say that. When was the last time you watched a cam rip and saw someone get up to go to the toilet halfway through as a shadow?
Ah, dude.
Because that was a thing back in the day. I haven't seen it in many years.
Maybe like 10 years.
I watched a cam rip in
I remember
years,
I remember what you said. But like we said before, I'm not a bad boy, so I don't really pirate stuff. Whereas you're just like ripping movies off everyone. You're like
downloading Formula 1 on the weekend.
You're like fuck Harvey Weinstein. You're like Justin Bieber albums. You're just downloading them just to delete them.
Can we just emphasize the point that you said? You're like fuck Harvey Weinstein, not you're like
Harvey Weinstein. I'm gonna edit out the fuck. just
my DBS is at stake. No.
Yeah. Oh dear. That's a common joke that I've started coming up with. I don't know if this.
Harvey Weinstein.
No. So nothing solidifies a joke like explaining it.
Yeah.
So when people hand me a baby, I'm just like, nah, I'm not CRB checked. Sorry. I can't take it.
That is good.
I'm not legally allowed. Oh.
I'm legally allowed within this primary school.
Wow. Do you know what? I never understood why do I need a CRB check to have a financial job?
Do you?
Yeah. A couple of financial institutions I worked at
it's
historically.
a criminal check. It's not just a
right, is it?
check. Yeah.
Right, okay. I thought it was like a kid touching check.
No.
Right, you're going to be handling loads of money. Let's see if you've ever
It's
fingered
just
a
criminal
child.
background, yeah. Which probably makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Because they don't monitor your debt and stuff like that. They might not monitor, but they expressly tell you if you're in debt, you need to tell us.
Yeah. So
the
army has a similar policy. Actually, it's actually I think it's a military crime to be recklessly indebted.
Really?
Yeah, because you can be leaned on by criminals to like give away secrets.
Well,
and stuff.
I was speaking to a mate of mine who used to be in the army, and he did communication stuff, like he just set up satellites.
Right.
And he said his interview for one of the positions he went for might have been the base position, but it might have been a bit further up. I don't know. Where the interview was like, "What kind of porn do you watch? We know what kind of stuff you watch. Are you going to tell us the truth?"
Wow.
And they I don't know if they did it on whatever local Wi-Fi there was at the barracks he was staying at, or if they just searched on their like super database and tracked him for a few days just to show how easy it is to track someone.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is what we found. Is he going to be truthful about it? Or if it was a thing of, do you watch anything that's kind of weird? I don't give a fuck, but someone might, and they might lean on it.
Yeah.
Like if you're secretly watching, I don't know, gay porn or something like that, but you're presented straight, then they
like
can lean on that for you.
Wild.
Oscar Wilde married.
Yeah, he had a wife.
Whereas they can lean on you for that, so I don't know if that's the reason.
That's crazy, isn't it?
But yeah, but he said that was one
Imagine,
of his
like,
questions.
I don't see the fascination of not the fascination of porn. Obviously, I see the fascination of porn. I don't see why society cares anymore. I feel like that generation is either dying or dead
What
now.
about the stigma of porn?
Yeah, like not just the stigma of porn, but even the stigma of your own specific kink, like your own niche, your own brand that you like. Like, why is that like a thing to be frowned upon? Why would it?
I think people still is.
I can't even fathom like somebody going through my history. Maybe I'm just super vanilla, but I can't even fathom somebody going through my history and being like, "Ha, you watch X."
I guess whatever. It's just
but
it's just like
I'm just like, oh, mate, dude, here's my porn. I want to see people banging. That's what porn is.
Fuck. I think it's just the invasion of privacy people are worried about. People are still a bit shy about sex.
Yeah, I guess so. But
I probably would openly tell you what kind of the last video I watched, maybe, because that's something
we have a relationship.
Talk about anyway.
Yeah, not like a homosexual relationship.
Would I tell someone at work that I work with and have worked with for a while about it? Probably not.
What if your partner worked at the same place? Would you tell her?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, because the relationship comes first.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, and there's a big shift as well in this generation from people don't identify as the job that they do anymore. That's a very important factor in society.
You say that. I met someone in the gym today I haven't seen since I left secondary school, and his first question was, "What do you do for work?"
I think that's just like British questioning, though, right? Isn't that just like British small talk? We don't know what to say to people.
So you don't define yourself by, so you wouldn't introduce yourself as, "I'm Carl, I'm a builder," or someone wouldn't say, "That's Carl the builder."
Yeah.
Is that the kind of thing? Okay, I get you.
Yeah. It's less about what you do these days. That was a great shot.
Thank you.
That was a terrible shot. Yeah, I think there's like a definite case to be made for this whole gig economy. It's like what's your side hustle? What's the thing that you do? And I guess that's good.
That was yours. Fuck.
Wow. I mean, I'll take it. I will take it.
Yeah, I learned.
It's less about what you do for your primary income and what's the thing you're actually passionate about? Like, what do you actually care about? Is the question that you're asking people now? Yeah,
one of the things I was always told back in the day, out of sheer British politeness, is that you don't ask people what do you do for work. You ask people what do you spend your time doing.
Right.
Because then that allows people to talk about what they like to do as a job, as a hobby, if they don't have a job.
Oh, massively.
Or what they want to talk about as a hobby, without them saying, "Oh, I work in a shop," and then they've got to go through a conversation. Everyone has works in a shop. Oh, you must get some shitty customers. Oh, what's working in the shop like? Generic question everyone's answered thousands of times.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas if someone says, "How do you spend your time?" and you say, "Well, I work through the day, and at night I do X," you can talk about X.
The thing that they actually like. Yeah, totally. Oh, mate. Oh, how did you end up better than...
Oh, boy.
This is what I hate about you. Oh, there's a lot of things that I hate about you.
You tell me most days to my face. I know nothing about boxing. Fuck.
It's gonna do it, Anna.
I know nothing about boxing, but I appreciate good shithousing in any form of life. And apparently...
Absolute shithousing.
And apparently Tyson Fury rings up AJ once a week and just says, "Right, mate, I can bat you any day."
That's brilliant. That's fantastic.
It's like when you text me once a week and say, I hate you.
I'm bigger and or stronger than you.
That's like my dad used to write letters to me when he was on deployment, and he just said, I'm your dad.
I'm your dad.
I'm your dad. I was like, hello, Dave.
Cheers, Dav. Well, you spaffed it, mate. That was my ball as well. Cheers for that. Appreciate it. Have another go, mate.
How's that not yeet it off the edge?
Somehow going to be better.
Back the same part, it's fine.
It's cool. What's this hole go to?
That's when we came out, wasn't it?
No, we came out of that one. Didn't we?
Go in. You're gonna be a menace.
I'm going to do it.
Oh, go on then. That's the hidden one. GG.
It's not the hidden one, but unless I got a hole in one right now. No, it's just like another way down. I think that one might be a trap hole.
Calling me bluff.
It's not a trap hole. It's an actual hole.
It could have been if I went through that one, maybe. Oh yeah, he's found the corner from me. Cool.
Let's talk about the evolution of Kanye West. Okay, that was a trap hole.
So, on a completely different subject at all, we briefly touched on music earlier. My music knowledge is very shocking, but I'm getting better at it. You strike me as someone who listens to top 40 stuff, which you've gladly admitted.
Yeah,
there's no
yeah. Radio 1's on in my
no
car.
beef in
Like
that.
I'm that guy.
If you had to choose 5 albums, whole albums, to unlisten to the rest of your life, what would they be?
To only listen, I can only listen to these 5 albums.
Yes.
Well, okay, I thought you said unlisten. I fell for the same hole.
Trap hole. God damn it! I should have been paying attention.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. 5 albums. Okay.
I think albums are a lost art that I'm trying my best to listen to as a whole. Like,
what was the
art,
what was the Linkin Park Jay-Z crossover album?
Collision Course.
Collision Course.
Banging.
That's up there. Probably like I don't want to come off as a bit, you know, whatever. But
Noncy.
yeah, Taylor Swift's Red. It's a solid album. Oh my god.
Where do you want to go? I was the one around the corner. Oh no, I went to that.
No, I went to the one around the other corner as well.
Around here.
I feel like I've done that one and it sent me down a hole. Okay, so
Taylor Swift Red.
Yeah, you went down there, right?
No, around the corner. Oh yeah, I've been through all of them. Yeah.
Have you?
Except that one. Oh no! I'm gonna
Okay.
cut there, aren't I?
Taylor
Fuck's
Swift Red,
sake.
Collision Course, Beyonce's Lemonade.
I heard that was a banger. I don't know anything about Beyonce in the grand scheme of
It's
things.
just a
though.
great album, man.
Yeah,
You
okay.
give it a listen. I highly recommend it. 9 out of 10. Nothing's perfect.
No, 10. Nah, I take that right back.
Why?
10 out of 10 is fine. Totally acceptable.
I don't really know. I don't think there's anything that I really listen to
Fair
be honest.
Fair play. It's just not a good question that is...
Well, I mean, have you got any?
Camp by Childish Gambino.
Okay, yeah,
One
that is a
of
great
the most
album.
well-written rap albums I've ever listened to.
that's fantastic.
Crack the Sky by Mastodon. Mastodon, one of my favourite bands of all time, and Crack the Sky is a gem.
Okay.
It's about Rasputin.
Okay, Crazy Russian dude.
Yeah, it's about Rasputin and how it's about Rasputin is God in this world, and a boy with no arms and no legs wants to sail through space to find Rasputin to cure himself.
Right. Okay. Cool.
It's banging.
That sounds interesting.
The reason that made me ask you this was the other answer is My Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West.
Okay.
I don't consider myself a Kanye West fan because I don't know anything else apart from that one album. And that album fucking slaps, man.
College Dropout was a great
bang. I heard his first 2 were really
Yeah,
good.
College Dropout. I mean, I hate liking it because he is a raving lunatic.
He is an absolute lunatic these days.
But it was a great album. There's no getting around it. Yeet!
Yeah,
Too much yeet.
That bitch was empty. And that's the reason it made me think of it, because that album absolutely slaps, man. Just the intro it just sets it up. You know it's going to be something good for the intro.
I will give it a listen. Okay, let's move on to video games. What are you playing at the moment? What's the last game you completed?
It's funny enough you say that. I started playing The Witcher 3 in May. I finished it 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I'm really bad. I only have Sundays that I really play games because I'm 2 times 3 weeks. Saturday, I try and go out, and Sunday is like the one day I sit down and play games.
So you've 40 days it's taken you to complete that then,
It took me
roughly.
76 hours.
Wow.
76 hours it took me to play The Witcher. Some days that was 5 hours, some days that was 1 hour. But yeah, it took me 76 hours to finish it. And I don't like long games, it puts me off playing them. But everyone said The Witcher was great, and I was determined to watch it. I was determined to play it, and I watched a few trailers just to kind of get me in the mood of it. And there's the one where he kills a witch in a barn.
Okay.
That was the fucking best thing I've ever watched, and I was like, fuck, I need to play this. So I played it. The first 30 hours, just captivated me. They were so good, and I couldn't wait to play it again. I sat in my pants for like 12 hours on a Sunday and played it.
Brilliant.
The second half, I was like, I just want this to end. It's not bad. I just want it to
I
end.
need closure now.
Yes,
Like
I
the
want
time
it to
has
end.
happened. Yeah.
And I was determined
But
to not be someone who was like, I got 75% at the end.
So a game that takes a similar amount of time, I think, like any of the Mass Effect games, I never got that feeling of.
I reckon Mass Effect you can finish that in 20 hours.
Really?
But
you're playing it as like an RPG type game as
Good
well.
point.
Yeah, I never got that feeling of I want this to end. I always wanted more from those games. Full disclosure, I've not played Andromeda.
I played Andromeda.
So I was thinking about actually doing a playthrough of 1, 2, and 3 for the channel.
It'll be a long, long day. Mass Effect 1 still
I'm
holds
not
up.
going to do it all in one day. Mass Effect 1 is probably not aged well, but I'd love to go back and play it. Mass Effect 2 was brilliant. Mass Effect 3 was outstanding. I think it's one of those rare trilogies where they all got better.
A lot of people were really pissed off about the end of the Mass Effect 3, but I don't think that changes the game you played. The game you played was solid and had arguably the best missions of any Mass Effect game you played. Because that's a chunk of mission where you go and save the Krogans or kill the Krogans.
Yeah.
Is outstanding.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, really amazing. I think the last game that made me feel that like kind of emotion was probably like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 No Russian mission specifically. Like,
there was.
How many years old were you when you realised you could get through that level without firing your machine gun into crowds of people?
As a giant hippie pacifist who's been a vegetarian for the past 5 years, I did not shoot a single soul on that.
Really?
No.
Wow.
Shot in the sky and hoped they didn't kill me. And they didn't.
Until you got
Side
the man at the
note,
end.
I went to Ukraine in May. Some man shouted, "Remember, no Russians," in the airport and got tackled to the ground.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't know what happened to him after that, but I saw 2 huge Ukrainian men just tackle him to the ground. Security guards tackle him to the ground.
Jeez.
Yeah.
GG. Well played.
I was about to say, I was kind of on the fence. I was like, am I going to get, like, is this a serious thing and this guy is like some imitating mentally ill person you see? Or is he just being a lad?
Probably
in terms of like lad culture not being, he's a real lad.
More of the lad behaviour.
Yeah, most probably.
I love how that lad behaviour sort of resonates across cultures as well. Like
Yeah,
all sort of 14 to 23-year-old
Yeah.
men are dicks, regardless of
Yeah.
nationality.
So you said Breath of the Wild. I've never played a Zelda game before. I maybe played 3 or 4 hours of Ocarina
Zelda,
of Time.
I love that dude.
When, I played Ocarina of Time for maybe 3 or 4 hours when it first came. When I first got an N64. But I'm not a Zelda fan. I just picked it up because I bought a Switch and everyone said it was one of the greatest games ever. So I played it, and it took me 3 attempts to get into it, and I've really bounced off it the first time I played it. Just couldn't get into it. Second time, I got an hour into it, and I was like, "This is bullshit." And then I started it again, and I played it for 45 hours in 1 week, in 5 days, and it's probably the best game I've ever played. And again, I did not want that to end.
That is a strong review.
I didn't want that to end at all.
I'm just taking both of our shots
Yeah,
now
you're
because
free
this
to
is a terrible hole. Is this the last hole?
Yeah.
This is. Oh man.
Yeah, it was.
It's like edging, but in golf it format.
Nice plan sorted. Sounding. I mean, edging.
Wow.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you about
It really
the world
has. I don't know how
for
many
an hour and a
hits
half
we've
or
got left.
something,
I think
probably.
that's it. This is the last hit.
I
Well,
don't know
look,
how
yeah.
long. Yeah, an hour and a half.
Wow, an hour and a half of let's
Shit.
use that word. Use that word that you love. An hour and a half of content. Wow, we got a new trial unlocked. We can do the Norway flag. Oh, new trail. Sorry, not trial. Wow. Well, that's a great place to leave it. We're actually
GG.
physically shaking hands.
Mhm.
Well, mate, it's
So
been
beat you
cool.
again?
Yeah, by a not as large a margin as last time. It was like 93 to 40 or whatever. Okay, well, look, thanks for watching, everyone, or listening if you've taken the time to actually
We're
click on our
recording
little
this
channel.
on the 9th of September. If you put this into the
If we break this up into 20-minute segments,
if you put this in 10-minute segments and do 12 parts of it, or no,
it's going to take us into the new year.
it's going to be 9. It's going to be 9 parts of it 'cause it's 90 minutes. Obviously, you're looking at a thing of 120.
Wow.
9 minutes. If you put it into 9-10 minutes, it's going to take us to like
I'm going to level with you. I just heard the word 9 a lot there, and the rest of it didn't make any sense.
9-10 minute segments. This could be cut up into if there's enough in each segment. If you release 1 a week, it's going to be Christmas.
Wow, okay. Well, let's start
It'll be
opening those
November.
advent calendar doors.
It'll be November. We're okay.
Okay, cool. Well, look, guys, thanks for watching, listening. Hit the subscribe button. Check out our gaming Discord. The link will be down below. Share, comment, anything that you like, anything that you don't like, anything that you want to see on the channel, just let us know. And yeah, thanks for actually getting to the end of this, because this will be the bit that they listen to right at the end of the series. So wow, thanks a lot, guys.
Have a good night, or have a shit one. I'm not your dad.
I'm not your dad.